everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Sippin T with Nat and Z. I'm Nat.
And I'm Z.
So,
It's, uh, you know,
girl, I'm right there with you.
it's been a day. It's been a day. It's been a
Has it been a manic
day.
Monday?
It hasn't really been that manic of a Monday, but
Mm-hmm.
I had to go. So I have my badge for work expired.
Oh,
Well,
had that
it
happen.
was about to
Your
expire,
certificates or just badge in
and
order?
just my badge.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I um had to go and get my badge renewed. But you can only do it on Mondays and Wednesdays, which why? But okay. So
Really?
you can only go and get your badge renewed on Mondays and Wednesdays. So Tuesday is my in office day. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, well, I have to get my badge renewed. I was talking to my boss like 2 weeks ago. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, well, you can switch your telework day. Not. No, ma'am. Tuesday's my in office day. That's the day y'all gonna see me. I'm not coming in on no Wednesday because everybody and their mama be coming in on Wednesday. I ain't coming in on Monday because who does that? And I ain't coming in on Friday because who
Now,
does that?
who does that?
So y'all going I'm gonna come on my lunch break on Monday and get my badge renewed. So I went today to get it
uh,
renewed. I look like crazy eyes because
not crazy. Not
I
crazy.
had my glasses on, right?
Right?
And so I elongated my neck and kind of stuck it out like you know how they tell you to do so you can look thinner. And I did that
Yes.
not knowing that my eyes were like
Wide
so
open.
in the picture my eyes are like with the glasses on. I just look a hot mess. And I didn't realize it until she had formalized it and gave it to me. And I looked and I said, bitch. Like, I look like literally psychotic. And this picture is going to show up in the staff directory. So if anybody ever needs to look for me, they're going to find me in these crazy eyes. So
That may be to your benefit, maybe.
I don't think so.
Folks would be like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna email her.
If
I don't want
they
to bother
haven't
her.
figured well, that's true. Because if they
Yeah.
haven't figured it out already, like maybe the picture is the touch that I needed.
I'm just
A
saying,
little.
they look her up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna see
I
who
don't
else
think
is in
she's
her
the one.
department. I don't think she's the one. Let me
I
go.
don't think she's the one. So that's yes. So that's what my is shaping up, and then with the allergies just driving
Yeah.
me insane.
What are you taking?
Zysol.
Is that working?
No, nothing works.
Yeah.
Nothing
Well,
works.
there's Zyrtec, Allegra D. Like I used to take all of them all at the same time. Zyrtec, the Claritin, and the Allegra D.
I thought I was just being fancy because I was like, "Oh, let me try Zysol," because I like the way it
It
sounds.
sounds.
Zysol. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not lying because I don't take it as often as I probably
See,
should.
you
And you
have
know,
to
with
build it up.
allergy, right? And
It
I
has to
just
be in your
don't.
system. Yeah, it has to be in
I
your
can't.
system. No,
I'm tired of
exactly.
all these. I'm just tired of being on medication. So I just
Girl, you know I
I
know.
hate introducing new medication into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So we just leave it at that. But so with allergies, and then this morning
Mm-hmm.
a loud thud hit our window. A damn bird hit the window this morning.
Oh damn.
Crashed into my window.
Did it
So
die?
I don't know. Ain't my problem. His
Well, I
dumbass
know the
should
birds
be
that took over our porch and the babies in there is poop all over the damn porch. All
the lanai
over. No,
on the
not it
lanai.
better not be on the lanai. That means we somebody getting
Oh, you mean on the bottom part?
yeah,
Okay,
the
okay,
porch
yeah, yeah,
porch, our front
yeah.
porch. Our
Oh,
front
oh,
porch. Yeah. They like
oh.
literally it is everywhere. It's
Mm,
ridiculous. I was like, really, y'all? Y'all have a
that's
whole
not
ass
cool.
yard.
I mean, you know what I think we sound like sometimes when
Mm.
we start out. You ever watch the Muppets and those two cranky old men that just don't
Let me
like anything?
up in the balcony section.
Because we start out every podcast like, oh, well, let me tell you what happened. Uh,
They're so cynical. But they're timeless. They could like doesn't
yes.
matter what era. They're totally funny. I miss the
Um,
Muppets. That was quality
yes.
TV programming.
It really
I
was.
don't know
It
what this
was.
crap is today.
Girl,
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a
But
mess.
you know what this crap is? Dating. So the
Mm.
episode we are dealing with today is Dating Trends 101, Netflix and Chill. Folks still do that. That's where we at.
Right.
We out the dating game,
Whew.
but
Y'all.
we have heard some stories about what the dating game is entailing these days,
Yes.
and
Mm.
I'm really praying for you.
Not for. I just don't understand. Like these trends have actually now have names to them. Like
Yes, they do.
when we were dating, it was so y'all. Do you want to go out? Check the box. Yes. No. Maybe.
Right.
And that
Are
was
you
it.
talking? You talking? Are you dating?
Are
Like
you dating? Are you
it's
going steady? Are you a jump off? Are you a
it's
side chick?
situ. I think the most
Situationship.
sweet was a situationship, and that
Right.
came late in
Yeah.
the dating game for us.
Very
Situationship
true.
started late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all of these different dating trends and dating situations, and we're going to get into that
Mm-hmm.
in a minute. But let's get into the tea of the day. Which shout out to James, who listens to our podcast, who absolutely hates this segment.
Yes, he
he
does.
never,
Good looking
he
out, James.
never,
Though
yeah, he never misses an opportunity to tell us
he's like,
your
why is it so
episode.
long?
Yeah, he's like, your episode, your podcast was good, but y'all, that tea, man,
I
I can't
can't.
get into that tea. So shout out to James, who has his own podcast, which is called.
I forget the name. It's James Lampkin podcast. I don't have it in front of me, y'all. I'm gonna just blame it on my headache, my blood
No, it's
pressure.
cool. You know why? Because I always forget. So um we just know me and Natalie are just struggling today, okay?
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week.
It's been a minute. It's been some shit, but it's conversations. So it's conversations with Lamp. So conversations underscore
Yes.
with underscore Lamp. And here's the thing, I forget. Like, so he interviewed me last week, and so at the end he was like, "Hey, so let people know." How to get in touch with you, how to listen to your podcast. And I started with Sippin T underscore I was like, man, I don't know.
Oh Lord, did you tell him? Did you get it
I was like,
right?
I don't know. I was like, Natalie usually does the end. I was like, just IG Sippin' Tea with Nat Z. You'll find us eventually. So
We gonna
it's
work on
not.
that, y'all.
Yeah, it's not us. It's us. Like I
Yeah,
just don't remember. If I can't remember my own podcast, but I remembered it's conversations
with Lamp.
underscore with
Mm-hmm.
underscore lamp. It has very good conversations,
Very
very
diverse
good
conversations.
yes, we had a
Mm-hmm.
very good conversation with him a few weeks back,
Yeah.
and then he interviewed me this past week, and so that'll come out in the future and we'll let you know when that happens.
Yeah, we
But
still need
what
to
we
post
drinking?
our yeah, we need to post our other one that our interview with him.
He
Um
posted snippets to our
yeah,
page, but
snippets and
we'll go
stuff.
back around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
So what we drinking? Because we know we got a lot today.
yeah, we
We
do
all
have a
over the
lot.
place.
So we drinking thoughtfully DIY homemade tea infusion kit pack of 25. You can find it at Walmart or Costco or what have you. Basically, you get to
Is
make
that
your own.
Costco?
I think so, yeah. Or when I was looking online to find it, but I know you could definitely get it at Walmart.
You can get it at Sam's too.
Oh, okay. Look
Because
it
I
up.
think
Look it
that's
up, y'all, when y'all go shopping. Okay.
yes.
So basically, you can make your own homemade tea blends with this loose leaf tea infusion. It is a gift set. It's really cute and pretty. You'll see it on our website when we get it posted. So this loose leaf tea includes one tea infuser and 25 uniquely flavored loose leaf teas. And you can enhance the classics flavors with fun and fruity options by mixing and matching. So a great idea for the tea lovers in your life. Okay. So the tea flavors include vanilla chai, English breakfast tea, nutmeg cinnamon, black, Earl Grey, peppermint, lemon honey, jasmine. So y'all see where I'm going here. It is a plethora and cornucopia of flavors. So I really encourage you to look into it and get it for a tea connoisseur in your life. And it will be delightful. What's going on with the hot tea? Because I know there is a lot. of tea.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of hot tea. Um,
Whew.
so,
Make my head hurt.
well, it's not a whole lot, but it's
It's
the main
heavy.
stuff.
Some of
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
So I'm gonna get through the not so heavy part and then get into the heavy part. So
Okay.
the Met Gala was was like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was sitting on my couch, literally in ragtags, and I was like judging everybody. I was like, because it was gilded, something gilded glamour or gilded something. I don't know.
Yeah, like the Gilded Age.
Yes, the Gilded Age,
The
right.
Gilded.
And
Mm-hmm.
so
I
think
love the Gilded Age, by
Bridgerton.
the way.
Yes,
They have
I
a
do too.
show on HBO called The.
They absolutely do. So with that show on HBO and Bridgerton, you would think, okay, you can get some very classy, not just classy, but just like some like fire ass outfits.
Heck yeah.
And some people just came like ragtag
Regular.
dolls. Like
People
Kylie
dress up
Jenner
for the
was,
Bridgerton ball experience more apparently than the Met
hello,
Gala.
good morning.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you, I Kylie Jenner, I understand she was giving a shout out to Ablo, Virgil Abloh, but that no, honey, that is not gilded glam. You look a hot mess. You
What did
look
she
like
make wrong?
you look like she had on a wedding gown with a baseball cap and a veil. And no, ma'am, no, you look like you were going to a trailer park wedding.
Oh
She had a
Lord.
trucker hat. It was
She had
not.
on a
It
trucker
was
hat
not
with
for
a
me.
dress.
Yes, it was not for me. But so did Nicki Minaj. So, but she wasn't on my best dress list. So, on my best dress list for the people that I thought did it
Mm-hmm.
well were Shawn Mendes.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked like Prince Charming meets Abraham Lincoln, but it was dope. The outfit he had on was really like from that era. He did look like he belonged. He looked like a more modern version what somebody in the Bridgerton would wear.
Ooh.
It was dope,
Okay.
but it literally was a Prince Charming jacket, and he kind
That
of
is
looks
dope.
like he has that chiseled Disney Prince Charming look, so
Yeah.
it worked. Meg the Stallion, I loved hers because
Mm-hmm.
I just loved hers. It seemed like it was on theme. Jodie Turner Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I had to go with a lot of people because nobody was really on theme that I knew that I could identify. So
Right.
I'm picking the people that I thought were closest to the theme and looked good.
Right.
Jodie Turner Smith, I thought she looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Skin was melanin popping.
Uh-oh.
Blake Lively was the best dressed, hands down. That bitch
Her
shut it down.
her hubby was looking at her like, go ahead.
Yes, she was the best, and they were the chairs.
Oh, they were.
They were the chairs. Side note, so was Regina King. She was a co-chair, but she didn't show up, which is understandable because she's still mourning
Yeah.
the death of her son.
So,
I
mm-hmm.
loved Cardi B because that whole Versace, woo, she looked good,
Good.
and
Mm-hmm.
that was it.
That
That's all
was
I got. We all know what Kim Kardashian did. I was not impressed.
which like she lost weight for the dress or
For
something.
a dress, she got Marilyn Monroe's dress. Lost weight and still couldn't fit it because, quiet as kept, she couldn't even zip it up in the back. She was wearing a coat to cover her butt.
Oh, well, my island
So
didn't have a booty.
yeah, so like no. That was that. So yeah, good
Mm.
times, fun times at the Met Gala. I would say Andre Talley would have been like, no, this is just not. He
Yes.
would have not
No,
been impressed
hunty.
at all.
Mm-mm. He would have been
So
yawn.
Dave Chappelle, if you saw, everybody seen, somebody rushed on stage and they mollywopped that man and his arm was bent
Ooh.
backwards. They
Ooh.
broke his arm. It was all twisted. He came in there with a gun with a knife attached to the front. Like somebody could have been seriously injured. And,
What?
mhm, people on the social medias, literally got on Beyonce's internet and said, hey, this is what happened. This is Will Smith's doing. No, this
What?
is crazy people have been coming on stage for
Ever.
years,
Ever.
forever. And if you had and apparently this man had been like obsessed with Dave Chappelle. He had made like a rap song about Dave Chappelle like
Like
for
Eminem
like
and
the last
Stan?
2.
Is that
Yes,
what we talking
yes,
about? Oh wow.
yes. So, and we've seen this. I've seen comedy shows of other people where people have rushed the stage. And I'm talking about like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So this is not anything new. That guy was
Uh-uh.
stalking Dave, and that's what that was all about.
Mm.
Thankfully he wasn't injured. Um, and the guy probably is going to plead like not
Insanity.
guilty by way of insanity. I would if I was his attorney, that's what I would do. But yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Um,
I never
Kevin
understand why everybody wants to
Samuels,
kill people,
I don't know.
though. That's
Kevin
beyond me.
Samuels died.
Did they
That's
say
all
what
I
he
got.
died of? A heart attack?
I mean, Twitter is saying that he died of Red Bull and Viagra
Oh, you
and
know
had a heart
what?
attack.
Hmm.
He died
All
with a
right.
white woman, or she was Spanish. She was not black.
Oh, he
She
died in
was a
bed?
thickum. She was a thickum.
He died in bed.
She died like the guy from. He died like the guy from Color Purple
I
on
was about
top
to
of.
say, like in the color purple, because that was on
Yeah,
yesterday.
he grabbed. Yeah, he grabbed
He
his
died
chest
on
and.
top of me? Oh, Lord.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. I'm gonna
Oh.
say this. I've seen y'all ninjas all on social media. Men that I just didn't expect. Like people really exposed themselves behind this death. And there were
Mm-hmm.
men that I was like, wow, you
Agreed
really
with him?
are caping for him? Like my
Wow.
thing is this man I don't relish in anybody's death. Like I never said that there's well, I'll just say I didn't relish in his death.
Right.
However, I don't care. I don't feel sympathy. I'm not sitting here like feeling bad that I don't have sympathy. This man made women feel
Mm.
like they were feel
Worthless.
like they were worthless, that they were less than,
Mm-hmm.
that
Stupid.
it's just it
He
was
so demeaning from what I've seen.
very
I only
demeaning.
saw a couple of instances, and I mean, I don't understand. It speaks to another thing that black women see this and they keep calling in to be degraded by this man. I don't understand.
Because some women are pick me women. That's why. Period. They are pick me women and think that if they listen to Kevin Samuels or people like Kevin Samuels, that they will be chosen.
Mm. But you,
And you,
any man who gets on and says after 35, you got to share a man. You just got to deal with it and settle, and just be okay with it. Wait,
mm-mm,
what? Like I
mm-mm.
don't understand why we need to. Anyway,
And this is a man telling women, don't do this, living in a full on apartment. No.
he
And
live
not
in
to
an
say
apartment.
that apartment living is wrong, but the
Right.
way that he was talking, you would have thought that he was living in Atlanta, just, rolling.
Flossing.
No. He basically said you're washed up after 35. Well,
That's
sir, I got
ridiculous.
married at 40. So,
Hello. Yeah,
where
that
are
part.
you?
That is so
I
despair. I just, it
and
just,
where are you, sir? I'm just saying.
I just don't think God like ugly, and it just there's different. I will say, it has opened up a discussion point for some women and men to have, but it does
Yeah,
highlight where some men stand that they may not reveal to you, which is really how it kind of actually does kind of fold into the
benefit.
dating thing
Well,
that we're
yeah, it
talking
does.
about.
And I would say this, you should live your life in a way that when you die, people don't have these types of emotions. Like, you understand
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like, there aren't people who are
relishing in
relishing in
it.
your death, and people who aren't like, oh well, what's for dinner? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of women are like, it's above me now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
and it
It
is
is.
literally, well, it could be literally above me now.
Oh Lord. All that being
Moving
said,
on.
rest in
Moving
peace.
on.
Rest in power, Kevin.
So, in, in other news, I'm just sick of men in this country, and that's probably where a lot of this is coming from today.
Yes.
But the Supreme Court, oh my God,
Can we? Oh my goodness.
what are y'all
Three of those
doing?
people said something else during their confirmation hearings, counter to what is actually being
And they
exhibited.
all did, because of
Yeah,
course they needed to get the votes.
of
But here's the
course.
thing. So Judge Alito apparently wrote an initial minority draft that circled inside the court and then got leaked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much saying that federal constitutional protection of abortion rights will be gone. So there are already like 23 states, I think, or
Yeah,
24 states that
24
have already
states.
had laws that could restrict
Trigger
or ban abortion, and would also trigger if meaning take effect once the Supreme
immediately.
Court had this type of ruling.
Mm-hmm.
So there are going to be states that continue to allow abortion, and these states are going to start to see an influx of patients seeking care. We already know that women of color are going to bear the brunt of these
Again,
restrictions again.
again. And we already have the
Um,
maternal child health situation.
right. And there are things that that Congress can do, that the president can do. You can codify the law, which is enshrine a right or rule into a formal systematic code. And this can be done through act of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And state legislatures can codify rights. But then Congress would need to pass a law that will provide the same protections that Roe did. Um, and so there's just a lot. And then it would be binding to all states. So it wouldn't matter. Like the states
Mm-hmm.
couldn't have these laws because then it would be binding, and that's what it is.
Right.
Um, but even the like Congress doesn't really want to codify Roe v. Wade because it really hasn't been in place since 1992, because there was a case after that, which was
Mm-hmm.
Planned Parenthood v. Casey, which I'm not going to get into. But if you want to do some research, doing you can do it. If you want to figure out about the filibuster and what really is majority in the Senate, it's not 51, it's 60.
Right.
You can do your research on that. So I say all this to say, when Trump got into office, I decided I'm going to take a stab at watching The Handmaid's Tale.
Mm-hmm.
And I got maybe 2, 3 episodes in, and I said, no, I can't do this because it
Yeah.
felt too real.
Mm.
I was like, I don't think this could happen, but it could.
Oh.
Allegedly, but
But
I
I
believe
believe
it.
it. Right.
And here we are, right? There are some people, and I don't know, there's a lot of talk and chatter. There are some people, some states, like I think Missouri, there's been a conversation about like trying to ban women from leaving the state to go get
Yes.
abortions. In
And
other
mm-hmm.
states, talking about they would need to present a negative pregnancy test. Like, this is how crazy these people
Yes.
are
And New
going.
Orleans was talking about putting people in jail
Yes,
because they have where are
Alabama's
the men? Because they
laws,
can't they cannot get pregnant on their own. These
they're
women.
they're banning Plan B. Alabama has laws on the books now that like you getting an abortion has stricter punishment than you actually committing rape. So if you had to get an abortion
What?
because you were raped, your punishment will be stricter than the person who raped you. This is the
That is
countries that we're living
insane.
in. This
The
is the
fact that
country.
they quoted Alito quoted whatever from like the 1800s. Women were considered property then. So
She
how?
called them domestic baby something.
Oh my god.
Like, this is very scary. And
It
here's
is.
why you should care. If you don't care, here's why you should care. I know a lot of people who are pro life, who
Mm-hmm.
are relishing in this, who are loving this, who are like, this is exactly what we wanted.
Mm-hmm. They've been working on it for decades.
Right. But this was under the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. This is where you
Mm-hmm.
find a lot of the protections that aren't specifically stated within the Constitution. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
catch-all. This
Right.
is how we've gotten, affirmative. This is how we got affirmative action. Affirmative action, not in the Constitution. This is how we've gotten equal protection at work, right? You can't
Mm-hmm.
discriminate based on sex, race,
Race, gender.
orientation, all of these things, right?
Right.
Gender. You cannot do this, right? So they start with transgender people, and people are like, oh, I don't care, doesn't matter to me, da, 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 da. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Starting with
Mm-hmm.
now, what they do, abortion, doesn't matter to me, doesn't care, I don't care. What do you think they're coming for next? Do y'all
Hello.
think that they're going to stop here? They already have been doing all of this redistricting, gerrymandering all up and down the
Yes.
East Coast, West Coast, Midwest.
Everywhere. And now they're
You,
talking about the I don't know what state it is that it's going far as back as conception.
yeah,
So as soon as you get pregnant, it's beyond not even like 6 weeks and under, and then that's considered murder.
yeah. I just wish we would I'm getting emotional because this pisses me off because I personally am beyond the point, I think. Well, I could potentially be in a life threatening situation, get
Mm-hmm.
pregnant and be in a life threatening situation. I'm
That's what they
still
told
within that
me.
realm, right?
Yeah.
Um,
It's
but I'm more,
infuriating.
it is infuriating,
It's
but I'm more
infuriating.
concerned about our children and why are we policing other people's bodies? Women can literally, women, not, it takes, we can get pregnant one time and then 9 months, right? Then we have
Mm-hmm.
the baby. A man could literally impregnate a woman every day for 365 days of the year.
Yep.
You
I
understand what I'm saying?
mm. It just the medical, like they didn't even do a carve out for medical situations. I
No,
know
because
for
they don't
me,
care.
right. And if I would, they told me the first time before I even had, with my reproductive health, they said if you get pregnant, there is such a high risk that you will not make it. The baby will kill you. You would have to abort, or we'd have to do something else. But that was told to me years ago. So you mean to tell me anybody who has ectopic pregnancies, that have anybody has reproductive challenges, if it's affecting the mother's life and the baby is bleeding out, so you mean to tell me you can't
No, they,
abort the other children that are born without brains? Unfortunately, I can't remember the particular terminology for that, but I think that happened to Prince's child. So you mean
mm-hmm.
it's just the fact that you don't care, and it's all white men, primarily older white men, that are taking us back to the frickin' 1700s. I mean, hey, gay marriage, slavery, all those are on the docket. Just saying.
They
Real
are.
talk.
And if you're not waking up and you're not trying to see what you can do to secure your children's future, if you're not paying attention to local elections,
Mm,
if you're not figuring out how these judges, you understand at the district courts and these other courts, not the Supreme Court, but these other
yeah,
courts that we have throughout the nation, how conservative these benches are.
extremely. And they were loaded, front loaded during the last 4 years.
Trump did
Like
what,
200 plus.
let me tell you, Trump understood the assignment.
He did.
For
He
good
worked it.
he understood the assignment and he
Democrats get
did
on it.
it. And now we're screwed.
Yep.
We're screwed for at least a good 50 years. We're not coming out of this shit before our lifetime.
Yeah. And
We're not.
and if
And
you're
that's sad.
wealthy and you're white, this isn't an issue to you.
Nope.
It's a non issue. If you're anything else, God help you.
You know how much I donated to these funds? I said,
Right?
I can't, I ain't gonna have no more paycheck left if I keep sending money. And I'm gonna keep on sending money. I will
Yes.
keep on sending money. And if I have to, well, I ain't gonna, let me not incriminate myself because I'm about to say if I got to drive people places, but let me shut up and let's move on to
Girl,
it. Let's
it's
take a
just,
quick break.
yeah, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with our tea time segment. And we're back. So, we're talking about dating trends 101, the whole Netflix and chill thing, or folks still do that? I didn't realize. So, dating, what is it? How does it work exactly? I hear that from some of the Generation Z, whatever, the young people today, the millennials. I don't know what they be doing with with the dating. I've heard about it. People did it back in the day, and some of y'all, I'm sure, are asking the same question, like, what exactly is dating? Because we are in a Netflix and chill arena these days, and folks really don't know what courting is or anything like that. Some folks are describe it as having a guy come and hanging out your house when your mama gone. Y'all sleep together, and then he leave before mama come home. Like, that's
What?
kind of like y'all. That's the Netflix and chill. Y'all hang out, have sex, and go
At your
home. Y'all
mama
ain't go
house?
nowhere. Like, and that's it. But hopefully, this episode will give you some ideas of where these trends are going, what they're named now, and what it looks like in real life. Some little snippets of me and Z, and how we see things now compared to when we were dating. But definitely to circle back to our one of our more recent episodes, the relationship red flags. And we really need to take a beat and just look at some of the flags and situations that really can play into the dating trends and give you an idea how to navigate. So, when people are in healthy relationships, they respect each other, they talk honestly and freely, respect each other's independence, and just kind of there's a certain courtesy that's given. Now, when these things are not happening, there's a dedicated few that we kind of highlighted from the last episode that really make you kind of pause. And if you see them going into the dating trends, maybe you just need to be like, you know what, exit stage left. But
Right. So I have we have a few, but I'm not going to touch on all of them for time.
yeah.
But like some of the dating red flags that we mentioned in our last episode, like love bombing,
Hmm.
um, they're always too busy or too tired to make plans. You know, they don't respect your boundaries, or all of their exes are crazy. So even one early red flag can be a sign of something bigger. And so you may even see some of these red flags and some of these dating trends that we're about to get into right now.
Right. So there's this new thing. Apparently, it's called dry dating. What the hell is it? So when I heard of that, some people may think of like, okay, you've been drinking, and I'm not going to drink anymore, so they stay away from alcohol. Or if a wedding is dry, there's no alcohol. So are you going into a dry season, right? So this is kind of what dry dating is about. You remove all forms of physical affection and sexual intimacy, and you do that in lieu of trying to make more mental connections, and emotional connections. Kind of like that show. I just watched this the other day. I know this is cyber. The Blind Love is Blind, where
Yeah,
they are
yeah, yeah,
sitting
yeah,
in
yeah.
pods and they have to
Hmm.
connect emotionally before they
And
connect
mentally, yeah, before
physically and
they.
mentally. So
That would be dry dating. That would be.
yes,
That would be. Well,
yeah,
no, they be drinking though,
they
in
do.
them
Yeah, they do be
pods.
drinking in the pod, huh? But
They do be
the but
drinking.
the premise of like not having any physical contact and really connecting on the emotional and
Hmm.
intellectual level is really the focus. A lot of
Yeah, this probably.
experts, huh?
I was
Go
about to
ahead.
say this probably happened a lot during the pandemic because you weren't going
Yes,
anywhere, so you had no choice but to dry
but
date
to
people
dry date.
because you couldn't see them like you couldn't be right next to them. So the most you could probably do is FaceTime or WhatsApp them or
Right.
whatever. I don't know what the kids use nowadays.
No, TikTok, whatever. So like it kind of like fits right in with where we are, and they believe it's kind of the norm now because of how the world is.
Yeah.
And folks are really either serial daters or just I think people are lazy personally and
Well,
they
this
just
is
don't
good
want to
for an
do it.
introvert. If you're introverted, dry
Yeah.
dating is probably like the shit because you don't really have to deal with the person like like well, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Right.
you can just focus on well, I would focus on the mental and the emotional connection. But even if you are someone who's looking for more, this is
Mhm.
probably the best. Like I would say that this type of dating trend is not bad. Like this is a good
No.
dating trend. But like dry dating is probably beneficial for those people who are looking to make meaningful connections with
I
other
agree.
people.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
Mhm.
But the next one, well, the next one could be a good dating trend, or depending on who you are. Hardballing is what you do when you make sure to state your intentions and expectations on um with your expectations or dating with a purpose. So basically, you're going into it saying, "I want to get married. I want to have children." You
Mhm.
know, and I want a big family. Is that something you want?
Right.
And, the pros of it is you can get to know where someone's head is at and what their intentions are before you actually take those next steps.
Right.
But some people could be turned off by it because they were like, "Whoa, you're coming in hot." Like, this is our first date and you already talking about marriage and kids. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
trying
a
to get to
lot.
know you. And I
Yeah.
mean, it just depends. I'm more of the don't waste my time type of person. So I
Mhm.
like to get those conversations out of the way quickly.
Mhm.
Maybe not on the first date, but I don't want to be 2 months, 3 months in, and then you're like, yeah, I don't never want to get married. I don't ever want to have kids. Because now
Yeah.
I just wasted 3 months of my life. Because
Right.
this is not
I
like if
need
I'm
not to
dating
know
with
how to
intention.
categorize you. I need to
Yeah,
know.
right.
I need to figure out how to put you in rotation.
Right. And some people can feel like it's an interrogation. Like, damn,
Mhm.
like, sheesh, like, am I on the stand counselor? Like,
Right.
this ain't Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. I'm just trying to get to know you, bitch. Why is you asking so many questions?
I feel like I'm filling out a credit application for a house, and you just give me all these like 20 questions and just too much, man. Too. I don't know you like that. I don't need to tell you my
Right.
business. I just met you.
But I feel like it is, my personal opinion. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily call it hardballing, but this is what the kids are calling it nowadays. But I think that that is a good way to kind of figure out somebody's intention. If you're dry
Yeah.
dating, why hardball too?
Yeah. I mean, combine these. A lot of these are combined,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they show up
Mm-hmm.
combined in their your whole dating life transition.
Right.
You know, and then there's this breadcrumbing. So this can maybe help you figure. The two previous ones can maybe help you avoid this one. When maybe when someone gives a romantic interest, just enough attention to keep him interested, but they're not really looking to commit. Right? They enjoy the attention of multiple people at the same time. So like you got a full bench, and you got to figure out who's in rotation. And you're okay with that. Doesn't mean you're sleeping with all of them. That's your business. But you're not ready to settle down. Some people need a meal and just want to go and get something to eat with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Or, that's what I've heard, be taken out different places. So they want to keep their options open.
Right.
And, don't really commit. Basically read playa. Or, like in DC, this is what happens in DC.
I feel
100%
like
to
this
me.
just happens everywhere. And
Yeah.
breadcrumbing is, like you said, one of those things. Is just like you're just giving people just enough so that they stay interested, but not
Yep.
too much so they think it's a relationship.
Right. But that other person thinks it's a relationship, but
Right.
the other
Or
person
you
is like, nah.
Right. Or you can dial tone somebody, which
Mm.
apparently is when you give somebody your contact information and you never respond to their calls. I
You can do this so much easier back in the day when they didn't have caller ID. And you
but
could give
even that,
somebody's number like 1 2 3 4, and they
so
never
here's
hear
the
from them
thing.
again.
Well, that's true. But here's the thing with this, right? I don't have a problem with dial toning because some people aren't at a, well, no. Okay, let me rephrase this. You should be mature enough to tell somebody, thank you, I'm not interested. And that person be mature enough to accept the fact that you're not interested and you go your separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
However, like we've seen,
Mm.
it is not something that women can do
Right.
safely sometimes, right?
Nowadays.
Nowadays, like some women have to dial tone
Right.
because some men are so aggressive
Oh my
and
gosh.
so
Just
aggressive,
overbearing
just overbearing that the
and
thought of you not
persistent.
giving them their number could literally put you in a life or death situation.
Yeah. Yeah. People have gotten killed in the
So
club for this.
we've seen all the stories where people are physically assaulted because they don't want to give somebody a telephone number. Like
Yes.
really, like you're that in you self entitled and that toxic that you feel like you deserve whatever it is that you want, and therefore if I don't give it to you, then you feel that you have the right to physically
Mm.
harm me
That's
and
crazy.
in some cases kill me.
Yeah.
What the
This shit is real. Like this
it
shit is
is.
real
So
nowadays. I don't
downtown.
know where this is the hyper masculine situation, and I'm just speaking to it in that respect of that dudes sometimes are like, "Hell, can I talk to you? Low, I'm married, or I got this," and then you say, "No, I'm fine, thank you." But like, "Fuck you, bitch," and you're like, "Oh,
Right,
wait, what?" I said, "No, thank you. I'm already otherwise engaged. I'm
right,
married."
right.
And I've had, you've had people cuss you out, and you're like, okay, sir. People, I mean, yo, it is dangerous out there for
It
us,
is. You can't say anything.
married or
No,
single.
I'm married. No, I'm in a relationship. You
No,
can have friends.
you
No,
can't
my
have friends.
husband.
That's a big one. You can't have friends.
Right?
No,
No, I can't. I don't like
I'm a
people.
I'm a
I'm an
Mormon.
introvert.
I'm a Seventh Day
Like you
Adventist.
can't say anything. Like you basically, it's my man. She said.
They have dating rules. I'm just saying, they do. That might be more plausible, or you're the other people. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hello, are you? Good morning. Watchtower at your door. They have rules too, but apparently that doesn't work either.
Oh Jesus. Next. Next.
Well, so then there's weaseling, which
Mm-hmm.
can kind of be like passive aggressive. You break up with someone, you take time to, you need to heal. Good for you. You do take care, just, taking care of yourself, right? Getting him out of, washing that person right out of your hair, right? And then
Here they
you go,
come.
here they come. You done posted, I'm living my best life photo, doing my thing. And here they come talking, liking your pictures. And then DM you talking about, hey, you look cute. Really? Really?
Right.
Mm, mm.
Hey. So
Yeah,
I was
what's up?
thinking
They
about
trying to
you the other
weasel their way back
day.
into your life. I'm just saying.
And that's sad because I don't. Well, I would say it's not even like I can see this happening not so much in a breakup, right? Because in a breakup, sometimes you do expect someone to come back, circle the block again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But dating, that's just I. That's if you're dating someone and then you decide you're not for me, and you move on, don't
Mm-hmm.
circle the block. Like
Yeah.
that is I do not like that
Mm-hmm.
because you're only doing it because now the attention is no longer on you.
On you.
It's not because you
Exactly.
decided miraculously that I was the one. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, how dare this person go off to be with somebody else." It's about
Right.
power and control.
Mm-hmm. Like say someone was breadcrumbing you and you're like, forget this. I'm gonna move on with my life. And then they
Right.
pop back up. And you're like, what the hell? Leave me alone. And they really
Right.
don't care. They're not really,
They
they're just
don't.
doing that to be nosy. They could care
A lot
less.
of a lot of times, and this is something we'll talk because I really hate using this term, but or dislike using this term, but sometimes it's rooted in a lot of narcissism,
Yes, I
um,
was about to say a lot of
or
narcissist people.
narcissistic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And and I would say this next one also is kind of rooted in that. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
called leapfrogging. And it's when you connect with one person in order to ultimately connect with someone else.
That's wild.
Like what the hell? Why are people doing these things? Like so you see a group and you like, yo, I really want her, but I know she's easier. So if I get in with her, then I can get to this one. Or
Mm-hmm.
dude, I guess girls do it too. But
This,
so you
yeah,
just
dude. It's
leapfrogging.
it's mutually used for sure.
Right. So they're making you think that they're interested in you when actually they're just using you to get to their friend.
Right. And they'll try to keep it like above board and be like, oh, hey, oh, I know you. How you been? And just kind of like hang out to the point that if that other person shows up, then, oh, look, hey, I want to
Hmm.
introduce you to my friend. And then next thing you know, they hit it off. And then you're like, wait, you're not talking to me no more? Two
Right.
seconds
Like,
ago? But not deep enough that you could say that your girl stole your dude, so to speak.
hmm,
Just the surface enough that you're like, wait a minute. What's going on
that's
here?
despicable behavior.
It is. It's messy.
Like
It's
it
messy.
is. It's very messy. Like why would you do that? And the fact that there are people out here doing the dating world,
Man.
like what type of integrity do you
There
have?
is none. I mean, people are messy these days. They don't care about anything of I can't even I'm just people are just messy. So
Mm.
thinking of messiness, let's talk about exoskeletoning. I don't even know if I said it correctly. But so basically, it's like when an ex is semi stalking their current partner's partner. So or they just so that partner might the ex partner's like kind of crazy. That could fulfill that crazy ex thing.
Hmm.
So if you're currently seeing someone new and a random friend request pops up from someone you don't know, or all of a sudden you feel like you're being gaslit by an online troll, and it may not be random. It could very well be some bitter exoskeletoning you. Proceed with caution. Ask the person you're talking to if you recognize this person. Try to figure out what is their angle. How do you know them? Do y'all got mutual friends? Or are you just stalking me?
So I would say this. I would say majority of women. I can't speak for men, but I'll say majority of women. Not
Mm-hmm.
all women, but a lot of women have at some point been curious
Of
as to
course.
who their new partner's partner may be,
Correct.
or who the ex may have been before you.
Correct.
It's
Human
curiosity,
nature.
but
It's human
right.
nature
But
for
curiosity
some
kills the
people.
cat. Yes,
For
but
some people.
curiosity kills the cat. And I would say that for those who take it a step further, like creating Finstagram, which is the fake Instagram accounts,
There's an offense to
to
her.
yeah, that's what you call a fake Instagram account. You call it a Finstagram account, where you
Instagram.
create a fake profile and you set it up so that you can spy without getting
Mm.
caught.
There's a lot of people that get
It was
caught
on
up in
it.
stuff.
You've never seen that on. It was on Insecure, where they had like a fake page and they were looking. I forgot on this
Oh,
episode of Insecure they did that, but it is a thing. And
people
again,
get caught up in that.
well, you can. And why are you
Hmm.
doing that?
Thank
Like
you.
that? Like I read like online about this when we were doing the
Hmm.
research, and they said that this behavior is normal,
Huh?
but I don't think it is. I mean, I think the normal behavior is being curious about
Yeah.
the
Something.
past
Hmm.
or the present. I think that taking that and then continuing it for months and years is
Yes.
something that you need to go to a therapist.
Because you're
You need to give
stalking.
it to God and give a copay
Yes.
because you need help.
Yes. I'm telling you. And
Because
stalking
that
is
is
real.
stalking. Right.
Stalking is real. I've been a victim of stalking on numerous occasions. Oh
That's just
Lord.
too much.
Yeah.
And I mean, you to then friend request somebody to get like more insight on them. Like
Or befriend
I've
them.
had that.
That's
I've
a
my
Lifetime
pages
movie
are
network movie.
yes. My pages are private and I had someone be messy and send me a friend request and it wasn't the person, the ex, it was a friend of the ex,
Mm.
a family member sub situation. And I'm like, bruh, like,
Mm.
why is this? Like, what the? Uh, but
Yeah.
again, it is what it is. Um,
Right. I mean, you could use it as a tool to find out if you're one of the people being breadcrumbed, possibly.
true, possibly,
So I mean, if you're
or
doing your background investigation of who you're dating and trying to figure out what's going on, like why is this person acting like this, and you could do some research and be like, oh, because they're married or they have a girlfriend or they're dating someone else, and then I mean, and it'll just think of it as a research project.
I think it might be. I think some people do it to figure out why relationships ended
Yeah.
or why relationships began. And what I mean by that is if you are the current partner, you may want to look at the ex to figure out why the relationship ended, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
it the person or is it the ex? You know? Especially if that person
Combination
is a
thereof.
very forthcoming. I mean, I don't think you should be sitting around having conversations about all your exes anyway, but
Mm-mm.
you do I feel like there's some information you need to have to make sure that
Right.
you're with somebody who is
Right.
solid,
Mm-hmm.
just within the normal conversations, organic conversations, you're going to find out. This is how you find out if all their exes are crazy during those types of
Right.
conversations,
And then
right?
you got to sit back and be like, but are they? Are they?
Right. But are they?
Mm.
Um, So yeah, that's oof, okay. You could be in a dating situation where you're being Kanye'd, which is literally you're on a date with someone and you can't get a word in edgewise because they're flapping their jaws nonstop the entire time,
Enter Taylor
and
Swift.
about them, and it's about them. So I
Yes.
feel like there's a difference. Like if you're on a date and the person's just talking and they're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. It could be their nerves. It could just be
Right.
that they're very talkative. It could be that they just like to hear themselves talk. People who talk about themselves incessantly and that's all they want to talk about and focus on,
Mm.
that is being Kanye.
Yeah.
Because that's a sign of a potential narcissist.
Yeah. And we want to stay away from that.
We definitely do.
And then we have on the other side of that eclipsing. Think of Coming to America, Runaway Bride, Whatever You Like. The whole deal. Hop on one foot, bark like a dog. So you start to date someone, and in order to appear compatible, you start acting like you enjoy everything that they do, even when you really don't. Like you just do it because you just want to be in that person's space. And basically, you're living a lie. You're holding on to, you lose your identity because you just want to do whatever that person is doing. A lot of people, I think a lot of women, I'm not in speaking from the female side, I think a lot of women may do this um, maybe later in life when they feel like they haven't found somebody. So they get someone just to say they have someone and they start doing everything that person wants to do just to say that they have someone.
True. I think also women who are on a clock or on a
Yes.
timeline
Yeah.
tend to do
Mm-hmm.
this. Like,
Yeah. That's what I mean.
I
Mm-hmm.
just I haven't found the one. So let me just say I like everything that they like because this is, oh, I like football. Oh, I like football too.
Mm-hmm. And don't know
Um
between a basketball goal and a field goal
right. I like to drink beer. Oh, beer's my favorite. Knowing that you can't stand the taste of beer.
at all.
Oh, I love foreign films cuz the subtitles oh, I do too.
I
Don't
love
do that.
hiking, and now your ass is in the wilderness hiking for 5 miles, and you can't hike for shit. Come on, people. Come on.
Don't do
Just
that.
don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Or
it.
don't do this. Don't white claw. So apparently white clawing is when you stay with someone who you're not mentally, emotionally, or spiritually stimulated by, but you keep them around because they are physically attractive and appealing.
Mm, yeah. This is happens a lot, I think.
Like trophy
Trophy
spouses
wife.
and
Yeah.
partners.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
happens a lot.
Yeah.
You've seen this. Like, there was an episode of something I was watching. What was I watching? And they were like, "This man is dumb as a box of rocks," and the person knew it and didn't want to introduce this guy to her friends. What was I watching? And they were like, "Why don't you want to introduce him?" And then they were like, "Oh, okay, he is dumb as a box of rocks," and she literally was not being fulfilled because
Right. They weren't stimulating
they
conversation,
weren't.
like, or they only talk about one thing, and you're like, okay.
Right. This
Mm.
actually was progressive on the Golden Girls because Dorothy was dating this man that her mother set her up with on a blind date.
Oh yeah.
And she said that he was just, they didn't have anything in common and he was just crying about his ex wife. And so then I think it was Rose like, "Oh, are you going to see him again?" She's like, "Oh, yeah, we're going out tomorrow night." She was like, "What?" Come to find out, it was because he was the best lover she ever had.
I mean,
So
you
this
got to figure
is,
out your priorities, folks. You got to figure out your
right.
priorities. If you're just
Golden
trying to
Girls will
get
always,
some, maybe that's the
yes.
route you want to go. Okay.
Golden Girls is always going to give you a reference.
Yes, because they're fabulous.
Yes.
Then there's this thing we call cause playing. So when you break off with someone, but they try to find a way back into your life or your good graces, asking for a favor or participating in something that may be of interest to you, like donating to a cause that you're a part of. In other words, it's a nicer form of weaseling.
Right.
You have an ulterior motive and you just real like, oh, I didn't know you did the walk for heart association. I'll come out and do that. And then you're like, wait, what? Are we trying to go together now again? Because we went on
Right.
a 5K? Yeah,
Or
no.
right. Or like, "Hey, would you like buying some popcorn from me? If all the proceeds go to um
Like
people
Girl
with
Scout
no
troop.
eyeballs."
You know what?
I don't know, just something that they think that you will be like, "Damn, that person really is a good person." Just so you
Right.
can just get sucked back in.
All the
And
way.
speaking of sucking back
Manipulation.
in, right,
Mm.
vampiring,
Mm.
which is nothing but a booty call. Vampires are people that only come out at night. They only call you when the sun goes down.
Right. And this is after the club. This is like anything after 11, I think is a booty call. At least that's how it used to be when I was dating. Anything after 11 is a booty call. But then if you're at
Yes.
the club and then you call somebody when you leaving the club, that's a booty call.
Anything you calling me and it's nighttime, the sun has gone down, and you talk about what you doing,
Wait,
nothing. Can I come through?
that could be at 7 o'clock in the winter.
Well, can I come through? Yeah. Then that's vampiring. Like, when the sun go down and you just trying to find somewhere because you're a hobosexual. You just trying to find somewhere to lay up.
Yes, for the night. Get your
Yes.
rocks off, and then you ain't gonna hear from them again. You
Right.
know who could be doing this to you? This is one of the actions of breadcrumbing, possibly, because a person only pops up on certain nights or opportunities, and then you don't hear from them again. They're like, oh yeah, we'll do something tomorrow, and tomorrow don't come until next month.
I worked with someone a while ago who literally was in a like a long-term vampiring situationship,
Mm-hmm.
and she would swear that this was her man. I'm like, boo, you only see him between the
Ooh.
hours of 10 and 3 a.m. That is not a relationship. What the fuck
It
is
is
you
if you're a
talking
vampire.
about? And she
Wait,
was
that's
serious, like
really?
getting mad because he
Where
was
did they
dating other
go?
people. Nowhere. They never went on a date. What I say? Between the hours of 11 and 3.
Wow. And she thought this was normal, or did he work a
She
swing
thought
shift?
this was a
Did she tell
relationship.
him? Did he tell her he worked the swing shift or something?
I don't know, but all I know is she was straight getting vampired. I was like,
That's a
couldn't
damn
be
shame. Could
me.
not be me. And then there's this flea bagging thing. So you dating someone you be that beyond a shadow of a doubt they're wrong for you. Like, but you keep dating them completely. Like, yeah, that might be my
Because
boo,
they were
but
Fleabag.
yeah, you
You
just
ever
something
did?
to do.
If
Literally.
you are, yes, if you, and there is a good show on Amazon Prime. It's called Fleabag.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, and this woman is trash. Trashed. This woman is trash, and I love her. You should watch this show. It's
I will
so
look it up.
good, and it's
I
a
think I've
limited
seen
series.
it.
I
It's a
think it was
limited
like three
series.
seasons. It was
Uh
three
huh.
seasons. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good, so funny. I actually may have to circle the block with that because right now I'm watching Grace and Frankie, and I love these two old bros. Oh my god, like if I could be like them in their 70s, I would be so blessed because they are my faves. But one of the things, another thing that we we found when looking at these dating trends is future faking, and I think of all of the ones that we've talked about so far, I think everybody has experienced this at
Yeah.
least once in
Mm-hmm.
their lives, and it's the habit of going. It's basically the person is like doing things to make you feel like there's a future with them,
Yeah.
right? They're presenting everything that you feel is is what is essential to move to the next step, right? They're letting you
Mm-hmm.
come to their house. They may let you meet their mother. You know what I'm saying? They are talking about things. They love bomb you. They're talking about
Yes.
things like I can't. You're out on a date and you see this couple with this cute kid and they're like, oh, we would have such a cute kid. And like you're sitting there like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, he is
It's the one.
so,
No, it's not.
he is the one. I
No, it's not.
can't believe it.
Mm-mm.
And they tell him like six other people the same thing. They are
Exactly.
faking a future with you to get literally what they want out of you.
Yes. This is how breadcrumbing, I think, is actually implemented
Yeah.
from future faking, because you keep them
Hmm.
just informed and not just
And they, right. They're not even capable of really being in a serious relationship. I story time, quick story time.
mm-hmm.
I know someone who was dating someone, and this person led them to believe that they were like all on board from the beginning. Red flag. Oh, I want you to have my kids. Like I'm ready to settle down. Like
Mm.
I'm tired of being out here in these streets. I want a serious partner. I want to be in a relationship. And they were listening and believing it, right? And the shit
Mm-hmm.
never happened. And
Mm-hmm.
they would constantly call this person out on their shit. Like, if you like me, cool. If you don't like me, then
Right.
just cool too. Like just pick a
Right.
lane and stay there. And then when the situation was over, when the person, decided to walk away, here comes that person back trying to future fake again. And it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
glad that person learned that lesson because that was painful to watch.
Mm.
That was painful to watch. So, but yeah, but that just know that you're not the only one in the rotation. Future
Yes.
faking is people who are actually talking about the future, but not taking any steps to actually solidify that future.
Correct. Correct. and
They
it really
haven't even
makes you
called you
think.
their girlfriend.
Right.
And then you
Exactly.
say something like, but you've been saying all these things, but did I say that you was my girl? Did I say
Right.
you
Did we
was
have that
my man?
talk? Did we talk about that?
Like,
Didn't have that
I didn't,
conversation.
right. Did I say that,
Mm.
well, I met your mom. Okay. Not
And
knowing that his mama was on the phone after y'all left talking to her good girlfriends. Like, yeah, he done bought another one over here.
yes. I don't know what her name is. That's why I just say, "Hey, baby, how
You
you
know how
doing?"
he
Because I
do.
can't keep up with the names. I'm just, "Hey, baby, aren't you
Mm-hmm.
pretty? What's your
He done
name?"
bought another one over here. And
What's
let me tell you, you know how you know you're in a future faking situation? You go to a barbecue with like if he invites you to a family barbecue and everybody looking at you like,
mm.
so how long y'all been together? Well, really? So, okay, okay.
That's
Did somebody slip up
nice.
and the drunk uncle slip up like, yo, nephew, she look better than the one you bought over here 2 weeks ago.
And I'm sure that it's happened.
I know it's happened.
Or somebody grandma call you the wrong name at the cookout.
Uh
Baby, what's your name again?
huh.
Angela?
That's the
No?
one.
It's
That's the
Victoria?
one.
Oh. Wait, honey, come here. Who is this?
That's the one.
What's your name?
That's the
Yeah,
one.
I'm telling you. So then this one of the last ones is hesitating. Hesitating. It was first coined by the dating app Plenty of Fish. Kind of like you're feeling in after all of this shit, you kind of may be feeling indifferent about dating, unsure if you want to date seriously or casually because life in general is just so uncertain. One thing was said that 70% of singles say hesitating is a very real thing. Single people are mirroring the world events and the chaos of what's going on, and they're like, do I really want to put myself out there? Or it's, because they've been a victim of some of the things that we talked about before. They're like, I don't think I'm down for this.
Right.
I think I'm out. I'm gonna just go home and lay in my bed and staying in as a new going out.
Right.
And me and the Golden Girls gonna watch TV tonight because I
I
can't
feel
be
like
bothered.
right. I feel like overall, trying to keep yourself out of a lot of these situations, you
Mm-hmm.
just have to think about taking things slow. You have to hold people accountable. You know what I'm saying? Make sure
Mm-hmm.
that they mean what they say what they mean. Require more than just like the basics,
Right.
like require more than that.
Yeah.
Stay in reality. And if people show you who they are for the first time,
Believe
believe them.
them.
Just believe them.
Believe
And
them.
and and it's okay.
Yep. It really
You know.
is. And
Uh Go ahead. I'm sorry.
excuse me. No, and in addition to that, making sure while you're doing all this that you're making your expectations and boundaries clear.
Mhm.
Especially in the early, a lot of us are caught up in the honeymoon mode and we miss flags. We've all
Yep.
been there. Like,
Yep.
they're like signal the plane and we are like, come on in. Come on.
Deplane,
Signal,
deplane.
signal the plane. And they're like, oh no, just come on in, have a seat. Mm-mm.
Right. We
Right.
find
Just,
ourselves in these dating trends when we compromise a lot.
yes. Just to have
But,
somebody.
yes, but I will also say, because this leads us into the podcast topics for next,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of this also, unfortunately, is rooted in toxic masculinity and
Mm-hmm.
toxic femininity. And we're going to talk
Exactly.
about that in more detail next week. I
Mm-hmm.
would go into a little bit right now, but I'll save all of that because we're you know, I don't want to say running out of time, but we got things to do. We're recording at an hour that we normally do not.
Correct.
And my stomach is growling. So, let's take a quick break
Okay.
and we will come back with our last sip of tea of the day. And we are back. This is the last sip of tea with your Hood Dalai Lama. I am your Hood Dalai Lama. Dating is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You
Facts.
never know what you're going to get. So just use a lot of discernment, go into a situation with a clear head. I- I've heard that men masturbate before they go on a date so that they don't
Yeah, like it's
go.
something
Yeah,
about
I've heard
Mary.
that they do that so that they're not. using sexual energy in the date, that they can think with a clear head and understand that, like, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
That
because
that's what they
that
do.
one
That's the
head isn't
thing.
thinking. Mm-hmm.
Right, right. So you're using the right head. Maybe women need to do that. I don't know,
Look
but
into it, ladies. Something to think
you
about.
might. Hey,
Yeah.
you might want to do that so that when you do go on a date, you're not thinking with your sexual energy. You're thinking
Right.
with intention,
Mm-hmm.
and coming into it with a lot of clarity, because it's hard out here in these streets. I
You
told you
don't
a bitch got married at 40.
you don't want to be stigmatized and then throw away everything. Everything.
Right,
You don't want to do that.
right.
Yeah.
And maybe
So.
not date tomorrow, because apparently we're about to be in another Mercury retrograde.
Oh Lord.
So you might want to hold off
Yeah.
on
Full
some
moon. Full
things.
moon coming up.
A side note before we go out, I just had my chart read,
Mm-hmm.
and I found out that I was born under a full moon during a
Mm-hmm.
Mercury retrograde. So it
Wow.
explains so much. In talking to my dad this weekend, a full on, like, one of the worst snowstorms in the history of Philadelphia, where the power went out and we had to use the backup generators. So
Wow.
if you ever want to know, and I was born breech, ass first. So yeah, it
You was
just
just coming
explains
out
so
here with a
much.
whole bunch of stuff.
Well, my mother always said to me, because of my attitude, that I came in the world with giving people my ass to kiss. So why would now be any different? And it's pretty much, those are facts.
Hashtag facts.
Hashtag facts. I give no fucks. But that's it. That's the last sip of tea with your Dalai Lama.
Thank y'all for joining us this week on Sippin T with Nat and Z. You can follow us on Instagram at Sippin T _Nat and Z _pod, and on Facebook at Sippin T Nat and Z to get information on upcoming podcasts, topics, guests, and news. Thanks for listening, and catch us next episode where we get into toxic femininity and toxic masculinity. Have a good week, y'all.